Morning. We remind you of the oath, sir, that you're still on the oath. Thank you.
Mr. Silla.
Yes, ma'am.
We will recall on various matters that were outstanding. Of these matters, we would like to start with the contract between GAMTEL and the National Assembly.
Right.
That was reported. Do you know about the contract?
Well, from the records, I have seen something between GAMTEL and the National Assembly as a award of contract for GAMTEL to implement a IPBX system for the National Assembly, yes.
An IPPS system?
Yes.
What does that stand for?
Well, I don't know the meaning, but it relates to a switchboard, the provision of a switchboard for the National Assembly. That goes with telephone sets and then data from records.
Why did you refer to the records?
Well,
you were not there at the time?
I wasn't involved in the process. I came to know about this particular project on the 13th of January 2015 by an email. An email was sent to one of our directors, Director of Customer Service, and it was copied to some of us.
Director of?
Customer Services.
Who is this person?
Mr. Sajo Khan.
Sajo?
Sajo Khan.
Sajo Khan.
Yes. So when I received a copy of the email informing us that a project has been awarded to GAMTEL by the National Assembly, and a letter was attached to that email, I made a response to the email to indicate that, since it's a project that requires GAMTEL to, provide that IPBX system for the National Assembly, if the materials are not, initiated, the requirements for the project are not initiated, I recommend that we raise a request for quotation, that is the RFQ and the purchase requisition, so that the material and the process can get initiated for the contract to start. When I sent that email, that was on the 13th.
On the 13th of?
January 2015. The email was sent from the Managing Director's office to Sajo Khan, and it was copied to myself and other directors. So since then, I was disconnected from the system. I didn't hear or know anything about the system or the process until after some time I received a request, a payment request that came from the same Director of Customer Service addressed to the Managing Director through my office. Then that was a part payment of about $14 million. But the funds were going to come from the National Treasury Department to GAMTEL. And then GAMTEL was going to forward these monies to a company called Mobicel Blue. Then I called this director and I asked him what was happening, because I was not in the know and I don't know what surrounds that issue, that particular payment. So I wanted to know. He said the contract was between GAMTEL and the National Assembly, but GAMTEL decided to subcontract it to Mobicel Blue. So I said, then if that is the case, why can't National Assembly pay directly the money to Mobicel Blue instead of coming through GAMTEL and then GAMTEL passing it? Because GAMTEL is used as a transit in this, as a transit account to Mobicel Blue. And then secondly, what is the benefit, financial benefit for GAMTEL in this project? Because these are issues that I need to understand, and I'm not aware of any contract being given to Mobicel Blue by GAMTEL. So he said, well, as a result of Mobicel Blue's successful implementation of another project, that there was another project that was rolled out at the State House of a similar nature that also relates to, IPBS, switchboard. He said because of that successful implementation, Mobicel Blue is identified to roll out on behalf of Gamtel this particular project. So, and to Gamtel's benefit, financial benefit will only come after the project has been rolled out, after the sales service. After sales service, then Gamtel will be responsible for that. And that is when Gamtel will sign another contract with National Assembly to look after the operation and maintenance of that particular system. So thereafter, I went to see the managing director as well, just to have further information as to the payment. He
was the managing director?
At the time, it was Mr. Babukar Sanya. Then I also asked similar issues because I told him that I was not privileged to any information other than the email that was sent, that a project has been given to Gamtel for execution. But I understand this particular payment is meant for Mobicel Blue, and the funds are coming from National Treasury. So I want to understand the process. He equally repeated a similar response, that because of the successful implementation of that State House project, so Mobicel Blue is going to implement this particular one again. So it is an extension of that project. So the funds, when they come from Treasury, we have to arrange for it to be forwarded to Mobicel Blue account. So that was my understanding about the project. And there are 3 other payments that follow, because the first 50% that came was $14 million, and then it was paid to Gamtel. Thereafter, Gamtel paid it to Mobicel Blue. And then there was a second, and then the third one relates to a penalty payment for late payment, because they said Gamtel had delayed in one of the payment, and as a result, it has prorated the project. The project was delayed.
Who said?
There was a letter that came in.
Okay, we'll come to the documents.
Yes.
But who said? When you said they
this
said,
was Sergio, the same Sergio Khan, because all requests is initiated by Sergio. He initiated the payments, requesting for payments to be made to Mobicel Blue, and then addressed to the MD via my office. So, that particular request also came from him, that there was a penalty for late interest payment on the delayed in paying those particular payments.
A penalty due to who?
Payments to
a penalty due to who?
To Gamtel, then to be paid to Mobicel Blue.
Okay.
About $35,000. That particular late payment was $35,000, which Gamtel also paid for that, equivalent to 1.4 million.
All right. I'd just like a few things for you to clarify. You said when you started that you were disconnected from the system when you raised the issue about the process that need to be initiated for the contract.
Right.
What did you mean disconnected from the system?
Well, I didn't have any information, because the only time I came to know about this particular project was by that email, a copy of that email to me. But when I made that response, I didn't hear anything about the project until when I received this payment request from Mr. Khan for a payment to be made to Mobicel Blue.
Do you have a procurement system, procurement policy in Gamtel?
Yes, we do.
Is it a written policy?
Yes, it's all about GPPA procurement process.
Is it a written policy?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So do you have, go on, it's about the GPPA?
Yes, because normally when we have contracts like this nature, we follow a GPPA process. One, we have to raise requests for quotation, purchase requisition, and then identify the BOQs, that is the bill of quantity, the requirements for that particular need. And then that is be looked at, by the department that makes that request. It comes to the procurement office, that it will be forwarded to the procurement office to initiate the process. And then they look at the nature of it and the amount involved, because they are in lots, in different categories, which require different processes. If it is within 500,000, then it can be handled within the office. Then what we need to do is to request quotation from at least minimum of 3 suppliers. Prepare a purchase, a price comparison to determine certain factors. One, the cost, and then also we look at the delivery time, and if there are any, bond or whatever to be paid, then, we'll analyze it on the price comparison sheet.
This is below 500,000?
500,000, within 500,000. Anything more than 500,000, then we request for quotations and make a tender, a notification either, on the newspapers or on radio or whatever, and then, seek for quotations on that. But before that, a tender document will be prepared, which will carry all the requirements, both for the supplier and then also the user of that particular project will be identified in that bid document. And, suppliers, potential suppliers will be asked to buy that document and then, make their offer or bid. Having received the bid, then we will open the tender. Usually they submit it in the tender box that is stationed at the head office at Gamtel House. That's where they will submit all their bids, and then a date will be set when this tender will be opened in the presence of all the bidders or their representatives. And also from the office, the internal audit will be present and the procurement office. When they open the tender, then they will go to one of the offices. Usually they go to the conference room and open these bids in the presence of all the bidders or their representatives. And they will sign, a logbook to indicate that they have witnessed it. And then they will also be informed about, all the information that has been submitted by all the orders, so that it will be transparent. Once that is done, then the procurement office will go and analyze it and then summon a contracts committee meeting. The contracts committee membership has 3 permanent members. That is the managing director as the, accounting officer, then the finance director, and the procurement specialist. These are the 3 permanent members of the committee. Then the committee will invite the stakeholders, that is either the department who has raised that request will be invited, and any other who can give support to the contracts committee. The committee will review it, analyze it, and then from that the committee will make a recommendation based on the criteria set for that particular project or requirements. And then that will be submitted to GPPA with the minutes of the contracts committee for GPPA to go through it. Once they satisfy themselves, then they will give approval or disapproval based on the information that came before them. So that's how the contracts committee works. And then after that, then the notification will be sent to the winner of that particular, contract or supply of materials.
Now, in this case, this was a contract that was awarded to Gamtel by the National Assembly.
Right.
And the Gamtel then subcontracted it.
Subcontracted
to a third party, to Mobicel Blue.
Yes.
In terms of the first part,
yes,
the award of the contract to the, by the National Assembly to Gamtel.
Right.
Do you have any information on that? How were you awarded the contract? Do you know?
Well, from records I have seen, because I came through just this last weekend when I was looking for documents. I found some of the documents relating to this particular project. Because all along, when the payments were made, were sent to me, I did ask for supporting documents, but I was never given one. Other than the email, as I said, that I have been copied, I have not seen any other documentation on this until recently when I was going through the files. And these files, I got them from the Managing Director's office.
All right.
So from there, I saw a GPP approval that was given to the National Assembly for the award of contract to Gamtel.
Okay, let's start with that. You have it as
Yes.
the first document. So the National Assembly actually got GPPA approval to award the contract to Gamtel.
Yes, that's it here.
Okay, you just put the documents aside as you testify on regarding any one of them. Okay, when was the date of the approval?
7 January 2015.
And it was for Gamtel. Just give us the purpose. What was the approval meant?
The letter came from Gambia Public Procurement Authority addressed to the Clerk of the National Assembly, and the subject matter was requesting for the supply, installation and commissioning of IP, PBX and data convergent with telephone handsets and accessories. That's the subject matter, that's the heading.
Okay, thank you, that's fine. Do you have any capacity or capability in Gamtel to provide this service?
Well, we've been providing similar services to other agencies who request for, PBS and then, switchboards. Normally, when the request comes, we have a unit that's responsible for this, for the provision of those services, the installations.
Okay.
Then they will contact the agency because they will make the request and Gamtel will either roll it out by providing the necessary requirements or materials for it. But recently, because of our cash flow situation, we normally have challenges when such requests come. Then we will negotiate with the department or agency that made a request to ask for an advance payment so that the required materials can be bought. Or alternatively, if they want to own the system, then they provide funds for that and the materials and other requirements will be bought and then the system will be installed by our staff and it will be handed over. Recently, there was one that was just done, I think last week or so, for Ministry of Higher Education.
Ministry of Higher Education.
Yes. And then there was an email to say they have successfully implemented the project.
Okay, thank you. Let's have as I said, just put it aside, the GPPA contract. Now, what other documents do you have regarding the National Assembly contract? Just
sorry. So on that point, are you confirming there was really no point outsourcing it to Mobicel? Gamtel could have done it.
I believe so, yes, because we have a unit that has been doing these things for other agencies.
Because that's the whole point of the question. Was there any need to outsource it?
Yes.
There was no need?
None.
Thank you.
Okay. Now,
there is a letter that was dated.
Let me just ask you a question. You mentioned the explanation that Mr. Sajo, is it Sajo Khan?
Sajo Khan, yes.
Yes, and both the Sajo Khan and the MD gave you, that there was a similar project at State House and this is just an extension.
Yes.
Is there any document from the National Assembly that you found indicating that they had made a choice for the system that was at the State House?
No, I have not seen any document relating to that.
All right, so give us what other documents you have relating to.
The documents, the letters, I have two letters here. One was addressed to the Clerk of the National Assembly. It was dated 15th of January 2015. And the heading...
Just tell us what it is about, because...
It is about acknowledging receipt of the award of the contract to Gamtel.
Okay, all right.
That letter
did you come across, was a contract signed with the National Assembly?
No, I have not seen any contract signed.
You haven't seen the
contract? No, I have not seen that document.
Anyway, they are coming later, so that's fine.
So this letter was to acknowledge that. Yeah. Then on the same date, the 15th of January 2015, there is another letter that was sent to the Managing Director of Mobicel Blue Ozone Wireless, 26 Kairaba Avenue. And the heading is Additional Works at the New National Assembly Building. I hereby make reference to the above subject. It is our pleasure to inform you that the National Assembly Authority has formally awarded the supply and installation contract of a unified telecommunications solution to Gamtel. On a similar note, Gamtel management is hereby awarding the same contract with all the associated terms and conditions to Mobicel Blue Ozone as a subcontractor at a total cost of $585,808.17.
You can stop there. We have it as Exhibit SC67. Was a contract, did you find a subcontract between Gamtel and Mobicel?
No. This is the only letter I saw.
That's the only letter you saw?
Yes.
You are the Director of Finance.
Right.
Were you at any time given the pricing between Gamtel and Mobicel for you to know what the agreement, the terms of the agreement, or the financial terms of the agreement was?
No, I was not given one. As I said, I only came to know about this when the payment request came for the first installment that was to be paid to Mobicel Blue.
How much was the value of the contract between the National Assembly and Gamtel?
From the letters, it was $28 million, but the invoices that were sent were quoted in dollars.
Okay. Now, let me just ask, did Gamtel earn anything? Because
No.
normally when you subcontract, you expect that some fees would be earned. Did Gamtel earn anything from this contract?
Nothing was earned by Gamtel.
Nothing was earned by Gamtel?
Earned by Gamtel in this, because I did ask that question, that what is financial gain for Gamtel in this? And I was told at the time that Gamtel will only benefit after the project has been rolled out, then the after-sales service, that is the maintenance of the system.
You have said so?
Yes.
Now, but why did you agree? Why did you pay 35? You paid a penalty?
Yes, we did pay the
because
penalty.
Mobicel said you were late in paying.
Yeah, and then there was delay in the project.
Do you have correspondence relating to that?
I saw a communique that was sent by, I think Sergio sent a letter to the clerk of the house informing them of that request.
It's there that.
Well, that's it. The letter was, this letter came from Mobicel Blue, addressed to the Managing Director, Gambia Telecommunication, National Assembly, Cisco Unified Communication Manager, Lansing Activation. And then it reads all the way, it says, consequently, to get the Cisco Unified Communication System reactivated, we have already paid an amount of $15,000, that is Mobicel Blue, they said, out of a total amount as shown in the attached invoice and our letter sent to you on 21st July 2015 with the reference. We now need to pay $35,000 as shown in our letter. The reference is given on that. In addition, we would like to inform you that training components of our offer can no longer stand due to the delay in payments as agreed upon contract terms. If any training is therefore needed, a different invoice would be sent and paid by the end user. We hereby await your response.
Mr. Silla?
Yes.
My question was in relation to the penalty.
Right.
Why did Gamtel pay instead of the National Assembly?
Well, Gamtel paid because they said Gamtel is the implementing unit.
Who said they? Who is they?
Sergio. This request came from Sergio because there is a payment request here.
Yeah, but did you have to pay? You are the finance director.
Yeah, Well, I've raised that issue, and they said Gamtel will pay, but National Assembly will refund on that matter, on that amount. So this request, as a result of that, came from Sergio to the Managing Director requesting for an approval for payment of $35,000 as a penalty for late payment of National Assembly for the Unified Communication. So that argument was raised, and the letter
Sorry,
was...
what did when he made that request to the Managing Director, did he say anything?
There was a letter that was sent to National Assembly on that. So,
by the you said Sergio made the recommendation to the Managing Director seeking approval. Did the Managing Director approve?
Yes, he says, please note approval is hereby given to effect the payment.
Okay, so you effected the payment?
Yes, the payment was done.
All right. In the letter from the Public Procurement Authority,
right,
is there sum stated for the contract?
Yes, they've stated it.
What
I
is the
hereby
sum
convey to you the authority's approval.
No, sorry, just tell us the sum.
The amount here quoted $644,389.16.
Now, there is a difference between that and the amount quoted in the letter written to Mobicel.
Yes. The letter that was sent to Mobicel was
about
585,000.
So, but how much were you were saying Gamtel earned nothing?
Nothing, no.
You were paying in dollars and not dollars? What were you
Well,
paying?
we make the request in dollars, but equivalent to be paid in dollars by the bank.
Equivalent to be paid in dollars by the bank?
Yes.
Do you know how much the bank actually paid to Mobicel?
Yes. The information is here. The total amount paid was $585,807.77. And then in addition to that, we paid $35,000 as late payment.
That's basically barring a few dollars, about $1 or something like that.
Yeah.
You paid the amount stated in the
Right.
Mobicel Blue Ocean Wireless.
Yes.
But the difference between the amount GPP approved and the amount that you paid, what about it?
Well, there was no claim from Gamtel on that because these invoices, as they come, we make requests because the amount that was indicated initially on the first request, it says the total amount in dollars, it was $28 million. And then, but the request came that payment have to be made in dollars. So when we pay, we always instruct the bank to pay an equivalent of whatever amount we have received from National Treasury.
So the total of what you receive, you passed?
Yes, we
I
passed
just wanted to be sure about
Right.
it. Okay, can you put everything together? Is Mr. Sajo Khan still with Gamtel?
Yes. Now he is redeployed to Gamcel. He's still the Director of Customer Service, but for Gamcel.
What is the status of the contract with the National Assembly? Was it fully completed?
Well, recently, the current National Assembly has sent a letter to Gamtel indicating that the system is not functioning and is incomplete. So they want Gamtel to complete the project. And then I have also seen from the files, from records, that National Assembly has made a request to the AG chambers for a legal opinion. As a result, last week...
About what? Legal opinion about what?
I believe maybe it's not the incompleteness of the project because...
Do you have the letter? Also, can you add it to the bundle?
Yes, sure.
That's a copy of the letter from the National Assembly to Aegis Chambers.
Yeah, Republic of the Gambia, National Assembly, Solicitor General and Legal Secretary.
Okay, very, very well. Could you just zero in on the most important part? What advice are they seeking?
From this letter?
Yes, without reading the whole thing.
Okay. They said, we wish to solicit your learned opinion and advice on the above subject matter on GAMTEL, that is, request for legal opinion on the supply and installation of IPBS system and data convergence for the new National Assembly complex. So they're seeking, we wish to solicit your learned opinion and advice on the above subject in GAMTEL. GAMTEL has failed on the said contract awarded to GAMTEL in January 2015 for a sum of $28 million, which was fully paid. That's the subject matter of the, and it was sent to the Solicitor General.
All right. But has the complaint, if I may call it that, from the National Assembly been communicated to Mobicel?
Not by GAMTEL. GAMTEL did
by
not.
This, okay.
No. GAMTEL did not communicate it to Mobicel, not to my knowledge anyway, but I don't think it has been done.
All right. Can you put together the bundle? Is there anything else in that bundle of documents that, the emails that you exchanged, please
yeah,
add
that's
the
it here, yes, I have it. I have also seen from records a contract contract document between Mobicel Blue Wireless Company and the National Assembly of the Republic of the Gambia. It says an agreement for the maintenance and support of network infrastructure and telecommunication system and voice over internet protocol, VoIP. So
what is the date?
This was 2017. They didn't date it, but they said dated. There was no date of 2017. They didn't fully.
Is it signed?
There are some signatures. The common seal of Mobicel Blue Ozone.
No, that's fine. That's fine. There are some signatures. I'll take a look at it. Can I have a look at this? That contract, the service to be offered, has it got any connection to the IPBS that was contracted to GAMTEL?
Well, I haven't gone into details of the contract, but I believe it's a different issue because they said internet protocols. So what internet protocols they are talking about, I'm not sure what that relates to, but it's a recent contract that was signed.
How did you come by it?
I found it in the file from the Managing Director's office. I think these were sent by the National Assembly together when the...
Anyway, this seems only to have been signed on behalf of Mobicel Blue. There's blank for where the National Assembly should sign. All right, we'll get... You don't know anything about why it was submitted to your office?
No, I just saw it and then I thought I should come with it. I don't know.
All right. Add it to, we'll seek explanation from your MD, probably. Add it to the bundle that you're going to send. Could you just put the documents together? Separate the payments from the...
Yeah, those are separate.
Okay, they're separated. In some of the letters, there is mention of Cisco Unified Communication Manager. It's the same thing as the IPBS?
It is, yes. Cisco is the supplier of those equipment.
The equipment itself?
Yeah. They are the manufacturers.
Apart from Mr. Sajo Khan, to your knowledge, was anyone in the technical department of GAMTEL involved in this contract?
Well, from the sequence of events of National Assembly when the process started, I think the stakeholders were invited to that meeting. Sajo Khan, Director of Customer Service, Abdullahi Alex Bass, Director of Power. At the time, this particular unit that is responsible for the installation of these systems are under the supervision of Director of Power.
Director of?
Power.
Power.
Power, yes.
What's his name?
That is Abdullahi Alex Bass. So he was in that, I think.
Is he still with GAMTEL?
Yes, he's still with us. Yes.
All right.
And then you have Yaya Koli, who is now the current head of that particular unit.
Yaya Koli?
Yaya Koli, yes. He's a senior manager of NPN.
Right, thank you.
The other two are no more with us. That is one Mustafa Diba, he is not working with us now, and then one Tombon Tamba. They were all within that unit, but they are no more with us now.
Okay.
So that is the sequence
now,
of events.
Let me just ask, you said the MD also told you that GAMTEL would be maintaining the system, and that's where your benefit will come from.
Yes.
Did GAMTEL sign a maintenance contract with the National Assembly?
No, not yet. Not yet, because the system, as I understand, is not fully implemented, and then there is no contract yet.
All right. Is there any document concerning the process? Was there a consultant, or GAMTEL acted as consultant?
Well, from the explanation that I got initially, they said GAMTEL was going to be the maintenance authority that is responsible for the after-sales maintenance of the system.
During the process of execution, because you are saying execution was not complete.
No.
Now, who was in charge of monitoring, or who actually said, okay, the work is done, can you pay? Did anybody do
No.
that, or was anybody responsible for that?
No, I have not seen any records on that, and I have not, heard or been told that that has been done, other than the payment request that, normally comes.
All right, thank you. Can I have the documents now, please? Documents in the envelope are the
Those
payments.
are the payments.
And supporting documents.
Supporting documents, yes.
There's a document called Sequence of Events of
Yes.
National Assembly of the Gambia.
Yes.
Whose document is that?
Well, I found it in the file from MD's office, but I believe this came from the National Assembly. Because they catalog all the processes since they've initiated the project.
You found it in which file?
From MD's office,
MD's
the Managing Director's office, yes.
Did you ask him about it?
Well, I did, and then he was the one who authorized, for this information to be given out to me.
But did you ask him about this sequence of events? Because it seems to be cataloging events up to
Now, I asked for all
14
information.
September 2017.
Yeah, I asked for information relating to this particular project because I didn't have any in my office.
And you found this sequence of events?
Yes.
Well, you don't know who actually prepared it?
No.
You put everything here?
Yeah.
All the documents? I don't see the letter that.
See, it would be first set before this one with the email.
That Gamtel wrote to Mobicel, you mentioned it. I was going to take it out, but it's not here. Did you pass it on?
Yes, she took. Those were the first set of documents she took.
No, it's not there.
Should be there.
I think I'll just. I think I'll take the set you submitted this morning.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, may I apply to have admitted the correspondence and other documents relating to the exhibits SC67, the contract Sorry, Mr. Chairman. Relating to a contract between Gamtel and the National Assembly subcontracted to Mobicel, which is part of, at least the letter awarding the contract is part of Exhibit SC67. May I apply for the bundle of documents to be admitted as Exhibit SC67A? Exhibit SC67A, and also to be tendered separately the payments made by Gamtel to Mobicel Blue as Exhibit SC67B, and a draft contract signed by Mobicel Blue and the National Assembly, not yet signed by the National Assembly, as Exhibit SC67C. Did you give me your copy of this sequence of events also?
Yes, I did. I have handed over everything.
That's my copy.
Council, clarification. Do you want the contract as part of SC67 or these miscellaneous correspondence? Which one do you want included?
Oh, the miscellaneous correspondence. All of them as part of Exhibit SC67, but separated by alphabet.
A,
the
B,
bundle,
and C.
yes, A, B, and C.
All right, that's easier.
Thank you.
So there's no separation.